Men's Omnium tempo race, the second phase after a spectacular opening for the Omnium. In the scratch, Joe, it's tempo time.
Yeah, so this race, we're going to have points available on the line. We're going to have a few laps free at the start, and then once we're underway, there will be 1 point available for the first rider over the line each time.
Here's your Omnium standings. Ollie Wood, of course, took the opener, the scratch race, so he leads Mauro Vedri, who's just 2 points adrift. Matt Walls, great finish for him as well. You could see 3 Union Jacks here with Will Perrott, who was very lively, getting 24 points out of that scratch race. It's a race of purity, so this is basically how they finished. Yuri Havik in 10th place. He'll want to get something more out of this, but he will save himself for the points race, I'm sure, which will finish off. So Teutenberg here with Murphy as well, as you can see, and Eli Viviani 1 point. Well, I mean, he likes the number 1 when it means that's his position, but unfortunately that's the only point he got out of there. And a big point is that this is no respecter of heritage, this discipline, Joe. If you get it wrong, it stings you.
Yeah, so the difference with the tempo race is there's multiple opportunities. The scratch race, it all comes down to that final sprint. If you're in the wrong position, that's it. You're not going to get a very good placing. In the tempo race, you've got a chance every lap to get a point. And often we see the point is spread out among a lot of riders, so just getting that 1 point can really help you. But it's only the first rider over the line each time that is able to get a point. So if you're consistently second over the line, you get absolutely nothing. The only time that does count for anything is at the very final sprint, where if you're on no points at all, your finishing position will count. Just seeing Ollie Wood there, our overall Omnium race leader. Young British rider looking in really good form. This tempo race can be a tricky one to ride in terms of tactics, and you'll have a lot of different riders, a lot of different ideas. There's Viviani with a lot of work to do, of course. He's down in, I think, 21st place overall, so he won't be too happy with that. So looking forward to seeing him racing aggressively later on this afternoon now.
You know, aggression is a great thing, but if you filter it in the wrong time, as Willem van Schip did for the Netherlands, it can mean you do an awful lot of work and indeed tucker yourself out, as the Aussies might say. So here we go at the fence. It will be Ollie Wood for Team Inspired, whose team code is TIM, but he's looking for gold. He leads at the moment. Let's see if some alchemy can come to the man who wears the British Racing green with the gold Union jacket. A very fetching kit, I might say. And I know that one was favoured by Mark Cavendish in some of his 6-day races, where he used to race a very similar colour palette. Wonderful. Meanwhile, Ireland, Jack Murphy, he was busy and can get very busy when it comes to an Omnium, and we wish him the very best. Yuri Havik keeping quiet. He will cause havoc in the points race at the end. I am certain of it. Great to see Sebastian Mauro Vedri. He's leading off here at the blue band after the disappointment of missing out on the Madison in qualifying. Here is the aforementioned Yuri Havik, one of the most dynamic 6-day races on planet Earth. So watch out for him. I'm just full of admiration for him, and the way he rides as well. He's very attack-minded when it comes to the points race, where you can turn your ill fortune from the previous 3 disciplines into success overall. He will be busy. How busy he'll be here is anybody's guess. This is the tempo race, and so it means that every time we cross that line, once we are active, you'll pick up a point. Whoever finishes second behind you gets nothing. It seems a bit cruel, to be honest. If you lap the field, you get 20, so you re-embed yourself within the pack. In the old days, that wasn't the case. You just kept scoring points and you were just further down the road. So it's got its own following. It's got people who think this is a bit of a challenge. But I actually love it. Because you've got to start factoring in. You get a lot of solo efforts here, because whoever's trailing you, unless you come to an agreement in sharing the points as you go, and that does happen occasionally, you're on a hiding to nothing if you are trailing somebody who's stronger than you. And if they're not prepared to share, then I'm afraid that they won't be packing the parcel. They'll be keeping it all to themselves. Bell's gone, sorry, gun's gone, beg your pardon. And so it's time to go racing, Joe. Who fancies it?
Yeah, race is underway. This is a 40-lap race. Well, there's no points on the line this time. We're going to have, I think, 4 laps free before the points will start. But it's Gavin Hoover of America who has gone very early with a big attack.
Sweeping around the outside, he's into 3 out of 4 right now. And they're going to have to watch this man, because he is very, very good at doing this sort of thing. And once the points start to get calibrated, he's already got, what, about a fifth of a lap at the moment, which is a good deal of rush room. And he's asking the question of everybody else, do you want to follow me? How much do you want the points that I'm going to start assembling here? And this could be a very clever move by a very strong rider.
It could be, but the points haven't started yet. So we're just going to hear the bell now. There we go. So next time round, there will be a point available on the lines. This is a lot of work for Gavin Hoover here. Away very early, just looking over his shoulder there, just seeing where everybody else is, just trying to assess what the response is from the bunch and quite how much to gauge his effort.
Well, here he is. There's 1 point to Gavin Hoover. And I'm sure he's going to sweep up quite a few more. He's down the back straight now. He's got half a lap. If he goes for a full lap, nobody's motivated to push on. And this is the joy of being out there alone. They have to form alliances if they're going to stop you. And it's Juri Havik that set off in hot pursuit. He's not having any of this. That, to me, looks like it's a strong statement from Juri Havik, let's put it that way, and he's dragged 3 others along with him, but still, our American friend, Hoover, is just sucking up yet more points, and there they are. He's got 3 to his name so far. He's in a very happy place. There's nothing for these guys. They can work together as best as they might, but with 33 laps to go, he's got half a lap advantage. He could end up with, I don't know, 7, 8 points before he's even caught. He's got another one. He's missed the maximum. Yeah,
of course. If he is able to lap the field, he'll also get 20 points. At the moment, it's going to be a lot of work for him to do on his own because the chase is on behind at the moment. But still, he's coming around again and going to get another point on the line this time.
I think he's going to get 9 before he's caught. Because the way that the points are handed out within a tempo race, there's nothing for second. So whatever efforts you put in, you could well be just guiding others into the fray. And Juri Havik doesn't quite like the way this one's panning out. He's looking over the track thinking that should have been me. Well, he's going to have to wait for the points race, I believe. And here comes Gavin. And I think they've decided, well, Viviani's thought, you know what, I need to stretch my legs after the first one. So it's Viviani that's in pursuit at the moment. But Gavin Hoover, I think I might have been modest saying it was going to be 9. But let us see. There is Viviani, who only got 1 point out of the scratch race. Moving on to 8 goes Gavin Hoover. He's doing a phenomenal job.
He is. Gavin Hoover riding brilliantly here. Viviani, the only one really committed to this chase. Of course, Viviani down in 21st place overall, so really needs to use this race to get himself up that leaderboard. At the moment, he's just sort of in no man's land, so like you say, absolutely no points available on the line for second place. So at the moment, it doesn't matter that he's coming over the line second, he's not getting anything. He has to close that gap to Gavin Hoover, or the whole bunch to sit up and let him lap them in order to then go for points themselves.
Such is the reputation of Viviani that everyone's woken up to the threat here. Gavin Hoover moves on to 10 points, 10 laps gained, and Viviani's on his case, but a few others as well don't want Viviani to suddenly get a hatful of points. And right now, almost lapping the fields again. Gavin Hoover comes through, says thank you very much. You all right, mate? And Viviani's on his case right now. Also, Ollie Wood doesn't want to miss out. This is an opportunity. This is a good ride by Ollie Wood. A wise man to follow, but Hoover makes it 12, a diamond dozen for the American. He can always rest up now, and so he drops in behind Viviani and Ollie Wood. Fighting force of 3, but only 1 will indeed start taking the intermediate sprints. And Mr. Investment has gone for it again. The Dutch bank of Van Schip is starting to ship yet more energy in the chase. He's exchanging just a little bit, the man in the orange. But round the outside comes Ollie Wood, but Viviani's going to race him for it, is he? Yes, comes up on his shoulder, says, no, you don't. This one's mine. Would have taken 1 before. Well, a lap down. For some, there may well be more by the end of this one. Meanwhile, still we march on. They've got a lot of ground to make up if they're going to stop Hoover. I don't think anyone's going to allow them to lap the field, and Hoover looks like he's in a very strong winning position here.
Yeah, Gavin Hoover has ridden this race brilliantly. He's taken everybody by surprise. Awful lot of work there for Viviani to only have 1 point on the board so far.
Well, Argentina have been lapped in this one, I'm afraid. It's Lashika who has been lapped. Meanwhile, points still going, still being assembled. And right now it's about lunging for them as well. And Gavin Hoover could kind of watch them all battle it out. I don't think the field is going to get lapped within this. We've only got 18 laps remaining. There's a real pace about it, but everyone is now concerned that the tally is maintained, or at least held in abeyance from running away with them. Joe, we've only got 5 riders who have scored points here, and Gavin Hoover just got them all on his own.
Yeah, so for Gavin Hoover, he can really relax now. The points are getting spread out by a few extra riders here, but he's nice and safe at the top of these standings currently with 12 points, so he can sort of follow the wheels and not have to worry too much. Really impressed by Ollie Wood closing that gap early on, getting himself a couple of points, now nicely putting himself in that top 3 overall.
Well, starting to demonstrate. Has he finally got some reward here? I think he may have done. He's been extremely busy as Van den Bosch, and he moves. Shows you how quickly, with so few points up for grabs, he goes into level 4th place. And so at the finish line, Moravedri says, I've had enough of this. The man from Spain wants to at least get 1 point on the board, and so he sets off. I imagine he's going to get a couple. Picks one up right now. He'd like some more, thank you very much. He needs to half-decent point score to leave himself in a good spot for later on. Crosses the line. Yuri Havik hasn't scored any points despite going out there and trying to keep tabs on Hoover. Didn't work out for him. He was the one that was getting rested. But we mentioned will go well in the points race. I'm sure he will. Moravedri doing a good job. That moves him into 2nd place. He's now on 3 points. Good work by Moravedri. He was hugely disappointed to miss out on the Madison, Joe, and he's I think the freshness that perhaps of not taking part in that event means he comes into the Omnium with some power to deliver, I think.
Yeah, very much so. So if you have missed out on an event this weekend, you are of course going to have fresher legs. But these 2 riders away at the moment, Moravedri and Ollie Wood, these are our top 2 riders overall. So currently they're sharing out the points. They're of course marking each other because they're trying to defend their position in the overall Omnium. Currently in 2nd and 3rd place overall in this tempo race.
Yeah, 1 for you, 1 for me. That's the way it's going, but they will race each other if they're level on points by the end. The last point, if that is going to make a difference, will indeed count for an awful lot, potentially. Hoover's still on 12, and there's only 10 laps remaining, and if they are sharing, that means that Hoover is unlikely to maintain that position. He has a 7-point advantage at the moment, and there's 9 laps remaining, so Moravedri and Woods are indeed sharing these points, and it looks like that's the way it is. Then Gavin Hoover's going to win it. Quite remarkable. When lapping of the field here, that's a danger for those who are not going to garner any points. They're kind of circulating here. Could end up being a mass sprint behind to sort out the positions late on. Joe, we could, all those who are at level 9th on 0 points, they're going to want to battle each other for position at the very last.
They are. So like you say, a lot of riders with no points so far. Ollie Wood and Moravedri still having this battle between them. Ollie Wood just about to take these points, but he's still quite a few points down on Moravedri. So for Ollie Wood, he really needs to think about how much energy does he really want to use to try and pick up a few points here when he's probably going to be settled nicely in 3rd place overall in this race.
Yeah, I think that is the case, and after he did such a good job in the opener, I think he's going to think the long game. Elbow flicks out from Moravedri. Through on the inside come Woods, but 8 points for Moravedri, 6 left. He might just nick this one, Moravedri. No sign of Gavin Hoover after assembling 12 out there, and he'll look over his shoulder and start thinking, yeah, maybe I'll just start nicking this one. And as the clock, as you can see, we're 9.5 minutes into this run. I think this is where Moravedri might start to get a little bit greedy. There's 5 points available to him right now, which would, if he wins all of the sprints from now on in, he will take this one. He's flicked the arm again. Wood's not interested. He says, I know what your game is, mate. And here we go. So Moravedri might make a steal, but he's got to win all of the remaining points that are available. If Hollywood comes through for just one of them, then yeah, he could still win it because of position, I guess, if he's level on 12 points. So he might be able to give one more to Ollie Woods, but it's already got in the way of the Netherlands. So that's another one down. So how's he going to pan out? Not quite sure, just for the time being. And it looks like Moravedri has thought to himself, I think I need to keep something back for a little bit later, and that makes sense to me. Are they going to get back in? Is it going to be 20 for them? Does this count as a final lap? It is right now. So have they been credited? We'll wait and see. For the time being, standings look handsome for Hoover as they cross the line for the final time. Next time by, Yuri Havik is out there. They're chasing each other, and this is for position. Don't forget, everyone is level on points. It's how you finish. It's finish order that will define you. Everyone else has eased off, and so it comes to this at the very last, and we'll get a finish for you. But look how many riders were level on 10th place on 0 points. Gavin Hoover, we salute you, my friend. That was quite remarkable. What a way to steal it.
That was excellent ride there by Gavin Hoover, really impressed. He just took that race on early, everyone paused, he got that gap, he committed to that plan, got himself 12 points on the board very early on, then he could just relax the rest of that race. So an excellent win for him. He was sitting in 6th place overall coming into this event, so he'll put himself nicely up those standings.
That was an exceptional performance by Gavin Hoover. He has grown in stature. It was just phenomenal since, of course, that spectacular win that he had as well in the Track Champions League. He comes into this TISSOT UCI Track Nations Cup and he looked great. Let's see how he goes deeper into this race. Joe, that was a fascinating tempo.
It really was fascinating. We're just seeing Ollie Wood there. He rode really well, got himself 3rd place overall. Then also William Perrett of GB came 4th. So excellent riding by the British riders. Unfortunately, no points for Matt Walls, our Olympic Omnium champion, finishing in 20th place in that race. Viviani, another rider, did an awful lot of work, only for the 1 point, finishing in 9th place in that event. So we'll wait to see the confirmation of the overall standings, but it'll be shaken up a little bit. But our 2 main riders, top 2 overall, Ollie Woods and Sebastian Moravedri, they came 2nd and 3rd place in this tempo race, so there won't be a lot of change there.
Yeah, Will Perrett in 4th place ahead of Willem Schritt, who he's put a lot of work in for 5th place here as well. Van den Bosch of Belgium in 6th place, Inamura in 7th. Well, this is going to be a ride through. We'll just see that in a moment. Here's your Omnium standings after the tempo race.